Hey everybody, welcome back to the Raw Read. I am so glad you decided to stop by and see what I'm reading on. But before we get started, y'all already know how this goes. Yes, I have to invite everyone in to the best community on these internet streets. I kid you not. This is the best. And if you want to be a part of it, it is so simple. All you got to do is go down in your settings, look around, find that subscribe button, and go ahead on and subscribe. And while you're in there, hit the notification bell so you'll know when I upload or when I just want to pop in, and give me a thumbs up to fight that nemesis of mine, that beast. I'm telling you, keep dragging me up and down these internet streets. I'm getting tired of it. But I will get back on top because y'all always come through with the thumbs ups. And I said, thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, I want to give another thank you and a quick shout out to all of the readers who decide to support the channel by watching the commercials. Y'all are doing a bang up job, and I appreciate y'all so very much. So, thank you, thank you, thank you. Also, over in the corner, that's our join button. That's for channel memberships. And if you choose to become a channel member and a part of the reading club, you will be supporting my channel to grow, to improve, and to continue. And I will be so grateful, so thankful, so over the moon appreciative to have your support. And if you just want to do a one-time donation, that is so easy peasy. I'm telling you, look down, find that thanks button, and go ahead on and click it. And I promise you, if you do, all donations to the channel is always greatly appreciated. All right, y'all, we do have some shout outs. We have quite a few because y'all are so good to me. Y'all are. So hang in there with me. I promise you I will make it quick. But I have to thank everyone who comes in and supports me. It just means so much. It does. And we want to kick this whole thing off with 2383521E. Yes, she decided to come through, and she has been with me for a while, and she always is supportive. She is always down with the read. She is always in those comments and dropping so much knowledge. She is the best, and I appreciate her so very much. She is a ride or die, and you cannot get around that. She is down with the read, and I appreciate it. So thank you, 2383521E. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here and being such a huge part of this community. Next up is my girl, Faithful Yulette. Yes, Yulette is going to come through. She's going to be in those comments. She is going to ride hard for the read because that is who she is. She is the best. And I am so grateful that she chose this community to be a part of. She is the best. She is the best. She is the best. And I could not be happier that she is in our community. So thank you, Yulette. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. And next up is Florida Yuka. Yes, Florida has been with me for a while. And listen, she's sometimes kind of quiet, but sometimes she pops up, and I'm telling you, her comments are chef's kiss. They are. She is always giving you something to think about. And she is just so supportive, and I appreciate her so very much. She is a huge part of this community, and I am so grateful to have her here. So thank you, Floride. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. And next up is Donetta Dacosa. Yes, Donetta came through. She did. Donetta is kind of like Floride. She's kind of quiet in the comments, but when she comes through, her comments are always chef's kiss. They are. And I appreciate her support so very much. It's a quiet support, but it is a constant support. She has rolled with me for a while. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Donetta. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for being here. And Tiger Mommy came through. Yes, Tiger Mommy came through. She is everything, and she knows that she is everything. Tiger Mommy says she's going to be away for a little while. So we're not going to see her in the comments. But you know what? I am going to miss her. I am. And I cannot wait until she returns and be back with us. So, Tiger Mommy, you are the best and you will be missed. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for the super thanks. But most of all, thank you for coming through and thank you for letting us know, because we would be wondering where you at, because you be in those comments now. And I absolutely miss you when you're not. So thank you for telling us that. And thank you, thank you, thank you for riding with the read and always, always coming through. And next up is Charlotte Light Dark. Yes, Charlotte came through. Yes, she did. And I am so appreciative that Charlotte saw something in my channel and decided that she wanted to support it. I mean, it means everything, Charlotte. I am thrilled that you are a part of this community. I am thrilled you have decided to ride with the read. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And thank you so much for the super thanks. Thank you for being such a great support. And thank you for being here. And last but not least is Cool Cat Harlem. Yes, Miss Cool herself decided to come on back through again. She is everything. She really is. And I love Cat so much because she is so smart and she is so thought provoking when she is in those comments. She is the best. She just is. So thank you, Kat. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank you for riding so hard for the read. Yes, and coming on through. All right, y'all, I'm going to play this and we'll talk on the other side. All right, y'all. I want to give another quick shout out to 2383521E, to Yulette, to Florrie, Yuka, to Donetta, Dakosa, to Tiger Mommy, to Charlotte Light Dark, and Cat Harlan. Listen, y'all are the best. When I say that, I really mean it, because without y'all, I just could not do it. I couldn't, because y'all always are encouraging me. And it gets a little dark here on these internet streets, and y'all are the light that keeps me focused. And I appreciate y'all so very much. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for the super thanks, but most of all, thank y'all for being here. All right, y'all. Y'all know what time it is, and y'all know what I do when I am putting the read together. I hit these internet streets, and let me tell you, these internet streets are still smoking. I'm telling you, they are smoking hot, because it's more and more stuff keeps coming out, and more stuff came out today. We're going to talk about the Queen. I'm telling you, it ain't looking good for the Queen. And I'm not talking about the horse either. I'm talking about the proper Queen, because more and more is coming out about what she knew. No surprise to squatties. We have said this, since the beginning, that the Queen knew. It was impossible for the Queen not to know. And now here we have proof that yes, indeed, yes, she did know. And she chose to cloak and cover up and hold up in wrongdoing this son of hers, who is nothing more or less than a monster. Yeah, so we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what Sarah Fergie is up to. And I'm telling you, it's not looking good for Fergie at all. It's not. We're going to talk about how the king and his horse was out and about. And listen, it didn't go well at all for them. They even... no, I'm not even going to tell y'all. I'm going to wait until I get there to tell y'all what these folks been up to. But you know what? You cannot do anything with the barrier poles. The barrier poles will always let you know what's up. That's all I'm going to say until we get there. And we're going to talk about the Norwegian royals. I did not know that this was going to be on my radar. I'm telling you, I did not have me talking about and reporting on the Norwegian royals on my bingo card for 2026, but here I am. And let me tell you, y'all know in my last podcast where I said that the crown princess was crashing and burning. Oh, yeah, she is crashing and burning because more has come out about her. And her husband, the crown prince, has been out trying to defend her. And let me tell you, he should have stayed behind them palace walls because they ate him up. They did. They ate him up and sipped tea afterwards because he was out there talking all kind of nonsense, and people are not having any more of their nonsense. So yes, that's very interesting. We're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about an article that came out in Cosmopolitan where the staff has started to talk about Willie and Charles' relationship. And let me tell you, it's not good. But still not a surprise to squatties. We absolutely have said this forever. You know what? You can say whatever you want to about us squatties, but one thing you can't say that we're stupid and we can't see things as they are, because squatties be saying stuff way years ahead, and after a long period of time, here comes the receipts. Here it comes, people talking about it. And how long have we talked about Buckingham Palace and Kensington Palace being at war with one another? I know at least 2 years or more, but here we are. They're finally coming out and admitting it. So we're going to talk about that. So we got a lot to talk about, and y'all know me. We got some other little stuff up in there I'm going to throw up in there. You know that. So hang on in there. Listen, I'm not going to keep you long, but I promise you I'm going to keep you entertained. So let's get started. I'm going to put this up. And look at this. I had to start with this because y'all remember the video that Meghan posted yesterday with her coming into Harry's office and offering him up some of her chocolate. Well, at that time, Meghan had some bundles available on the As Ever website. Yes, she did. She hadn't sold out all of her Valentine candy. Well, after Meghan posted that, guess what? All of the bundles sold out. Yes, it says, and Meghan woke up and said, "Come on, baby, we're going to sell out this bundle today." And just like that, sold out both. Congratulations, Princess Meghan. Yes, she sold everything out for Valentine. She did. It's official. As of today, it's all sold out. I'm telling you, I am on pins and needles. I cannot wait to get mine. It should be any time now. Yes, I am going to sit in front of the television and eat my chocolate and have some tea. Yes, some hibiscus tea. I can't wait. I just cannot wait to get my rich bitch on. Yes, I'm going to sit there like a rich bitch and have my tea and chocolate. Yes, I cannot wait. But yes, she sold everything out. I love it. And this particular squatty posted the two bundles that sold out, the two remaining bundles that hadn't sold out but are now sold out. And that would be the Valentine Edit, the one that I got, and the Sweetheart Bundle. Yes, I am over the moon about this. This squatty that posted it said, "Oh, Duchess Meghan, as ever, Valentine chocolate bundles are sold out." Yes, it's official. It's sold out. I got to give some finger snaps on that one. Yes, come on through, girl. Come on through, Duchess Meghan. You have done it again. And this squatty posted all of the Valentine items that were on sale that are now sold out. And as you can see, it included the two bundles, the signature chocolate collection, the white chocolate and flour sprinkled duo. And it just goes on and on and on. The white chocolate bar, the chocolate, what is a milk chocolate bar, the dark chocolate bar, the dark chocolate and raspberry spread duo. Yes, all of it is sold out, y'all. More finger snaps. More finger snaps for our Duchess. Yes, it's all sold out. And this squatty that posted this said, "The Duchess of Sussex hashtag as ever Valentine's Day collection has completely sold out. Congrats to our business savvy female founder, financially independent American princess Meghan for selling out of all 8 product offerings ranging from $14 to $185. Hashtag as ever by Meghan." Yes, come on through, come on through. Can I do some more finger snaps for our Duchess? Yes, come on through, girl. Come on through. And this squatty said, "I love that Meghan is literally laughing all the way to the bank. Love that for her." Yes, I do too. I love it for her. I love it for Harry. I love it for Princess Lily. I love it for Prince Archie. They will never, ever, ever have to depend on that family across the pond ever again. I love it. Y'all, I do. And I'm going to put this up. And it is some really, really eagle eyed squatties who are scoping out everything that was behind Prince Harry when Meghan came in with the chocolate. And one of the things are all of the badges over here over his shoulder. And this particular squatty said Prince Harry has a display of the collection of Ukrainian armed forces badges and chevrons in his office. The Duke was handed many military badges and chevrons on his trip to Ukraine as a symbol of resilience and gratitude for supporting Ukraine. Yes, Harry is such a proud soldier and so devoted to his brothers in arms in the military. He is. And this particular squatty posted about that same thing, the board behind Prince Harry's shoulder right there, and said this: "The board with the Ukrainian military chevrons was given to Prince Harry during the Invictus Games in Vancouver last year." That is when he received that board, and he has it in his office. He does. So now we know exactly when he got it and where he got it. Yes, he got it at the Invictus Games in Vancouver. He was presented with it. And he seems to be so proud of it because he has it displayed proudly in his office. And look at this. Another eagle-eyed squatty spotted that Harry has a picture of him and his mother in his office as well. Look at this. This is a repost, and the original post says this: "There's this photo of Princess Diana and Harry. As you can see, it is the very same picture, but in color." And then this other squatter reposted it and said, always have his mother looking out for him warms my heart. Yes, he has a picture of him and his mother. And it's such a cute picture, such a nice picture. I mean, yeah, I can see why he displays that particular picture. Because I think Harry is a mama's boy at heart. I really do. I believe he loved his mom so very much. And he absolutely do not play about her. He do not play about her legacy or her memory. And I'm going to put this up. This is from Narendra Kaur, and she posted about this very same video that Meghan posted on her Instagram page and said this: while the monarchy crumbles with the weight of Prince Andrew's involvement with JE, Harry and Meghan living their best life, free, untainted from the utter filth and eating chocolate. Nothing says so glad we ran than this. Absolutely. Harry in this video is so happy sitting there in his office in Montecito in peace, bare feet. If happiness was a thing, it would be this whole video of Prince Harry absolutely enjoying himself, being miles and miles away from that family. I'm telling you, I love it. And yeah, we're going to switch gears a little bit, and I want to talk about this article that was in Cosmopolitan that I mentioned earlier in my intro. And it's pretty much about Willie and Charles hating one another. I kid you not. And this particular squatty is the one that posted it. The name of the article is Royal Staff Speaks Out. King Charles and Prince William aren't talking anymore. Well, surprise, surprise. We already knew. We knew every time they were together, they acted as if they were strangers. You could see it. You could absolutely see it. But this particular squatty posted this article and said, even though King Charles is a deadbeat, evil dad to Prince Harry, I've always felt he preferred Harry to Prince William. A courtier also noted that Charles actually has bigger issues with William than he does with Harry, saying Harry is emotional, reactive, and predictable. William is controlled, strategic, and stubborn. That is much harder. And all of that is lies. William is not controlled. Why is it that we get report after report after report that he is a raging lunatic? I mean, incandescent with rage. But we are to believe now that somehow he is in control and he's strategic? I think not. Now, the part about him being stubborn, that part I believe. Yes, I believe he's stubborn. And let's go back to what they said about Harry. Talking about Harry is emotional. Get out of here. Get out of here. Harry is not emotional. Harry is a person who is honest. And for them, that equals or equates to emotional because they don't know anything about being an honest person who is in touch with your feelings because they have none. So they deem that emotional and reactive and said that Harry is predictable. Harry might be a lot of things, but predictable he is not because they didn't predict that Harry was going to take his wife and baby and get the hell out of Dodge. Now, they didn't predict that. And everything that Harry has done since then, they hadn't predicted that. So this is bullshit. But we all know that they always have to pump Willie up and try to pretend that somehow he is better than Harry. Get real. We can see exactly what's going on here, and we can see exactly who Willie is. I'm just saying. But anyway, let's get into this article a little bit. It's a really short article, so I'm going to read most of it and we'll talk about it at the end. And like I said, the title of the article is Royal Staff Speaks Out. King Charles and Prince William aren't talking anymore. It says, as we are all well aware, thanks to Spare, Prince Harry's feud with his relatives have made a lot of headlines over the years. But turns out King Charles and Prince William straight up aren't talking at the moment either. Rob Schuster Scoop, reports that things between the king and his elder son are icy at best and explosive at worst. And the source says tensions are worse than they ever been in years. Added, it's very bad at the moment. There's real anger on both sides. Well, Charles is tired of Willie because Willie will not work. And Charles and the other elderly members of the royal family have to pick up his slack. Y'all remember in about 2 podcasts back, I was talking about how Anne has done 4 investitures this year. Only 5 have been done, and 1 was Willie. Yes, 5. It's only been 5 investitures this year, 2026, and Anne has done 4 of them. Willie has done 1. That is the reason why Charles is mad. Yes, because Willie doesn't want to do anything but ride around on his scooter and pretend like he cares about the environment. He is performative, and if it's not in front of the camera, it does not exist in Willie's world. And his mannequin wife is even more lazy and useless than he is. So Charles is sick of him, and who would not be? And he is sick of Charles because he's still mad at Charles about what he did to his mother, which you can't blame him for that. And also, Willie is jealous. He is a jealous human being. He's an unhappy human being, and he can't blame himself. So he has to have somebody to spew all that anger on. And Harry is in Montecito. So the nearest person that he can spew his bile on is Charles. So yes, he's unhappy, so he has to have somebody to blame. So that would be Charles. And I also think it's Kitty. That's the reason why she got that scar upside her head. My belief, not saying it's true, my belief. But it goes on and says, apparently Prince William purposely snubbed his dad's film premiere in Windsor Castle, which an insider said wasn't a scheduling issue. Okay, ouch. So Willie is saying it wasn't a scheduling issue. He just did not want to go. And I say it wasn't a scheduling issue because Charles did not invite him. Willie was not invited. And here he is planting stories, trying to pretend like somehow he is the one who was doing the snubbing instead of being the one who was getting snubbed. Because I believe it with everything in me, Charles did not invite Willie. He did not want him walking around looking like he was hunting up the place while him and his horse was trying to get their shine on in front of the cameras. So I don't believe he absolutely invited Willie and Kitty, but here he is. And you know what he did? He went to a football match on the very same night that this premiere was going on to try to make sure everyone knows that he could have went if he wanted to. Well, I say he couldn't have went if he wanted to because he did want to. Because we know, and I think it was about maybe three podcasts back, we talked about how he had cried his cup of salty tears and ran over there to Tom Thumbhead Sykes talking about how it could have been a moment for him and his father to show unity. Now, all of a sudden, he switched up and saying he didn't want to go. Yeah, Willie is all confused and he's mad because his life hadn't turned out the way he wanted to turn out. He didn't get the wife that he thought he wanted. He thought he was okay with Kitty until Harry showed up with someone better. So, yeah, he is an unhappy person, and Charles doesn't want to be around him. He does not want to be around to be on the other end of Willie's wrath. I'm just saying. And it goes on and says a courtier also notes that Charles actually has bigger issues with William than he does with Harry, saying Harry is emotional, reactive, and predictable. William is controlled, strategic, and stubborn. That's much harder. Well, we talked about my disagreement with that nonsense, so we'll keep it moving. And it says, so what's the issue between them? Power struggle between the king and someone who soon will be king, basically. They clash because they're too similar. Both believe that they're right. Neither backs down easily. One source says, while another adds, William will be king and he knows it. That changes the power dynamic completely. Tensions have seemingly been brewing for a while now. Back in December, a source told US Weekly that Charles is not thrilled about the narrative that William's in control and he doesn't feel great about it. As he has finally attained the position he has waited for his whole life. Now that he's king, everyone is focused on who will come next. Charles wants William to succeed, but William can be strong minded and stubborn. So that is what they're saying. Said Charles want him to succeed, but he is strong minded and stubborn. Now I just believe the two just don't like each other. They are similar. And I think they're similar because that is the kind of person that institution churns out as the heir. I mean, it is as if it is cookie cutter and neither one of them can see past themselves because they have been raised not to see past themselves. They are self focused, selfish, and self aggrandizing individuals. And that's the way they're raised. They are. And so, because of that, they bump heads. They do. And boy, I love it. And this particular squatty posted under that article and said, but Meghan was the drama. Meanwhile, in Montecito, Harry is absolutely enjoying himself. He has a happy marriage, he has a happy wife, and a happy life. Yes, eating white chocolate. I love it. But I also agree with this squatty that ever since Megan stepped foot over there to that island nation, they have tried to make her the problem. And now that she has been in Montecito for going on 7 years now, they still are coming with the bullshites. And it is clear that Megan was not the problem. They are their own problems over there. They just need someone to scapegoat for them because they are showing that without Harry and Meghan, they have huge, huge problems. They just don't have Harry and Meghan to blame it all on. That's the only difference because now it's there for everyone to see that this family is absolutely deeply, deeply flawed. And I'm going to put this up. And this squatty is posting about Charles and his horse being in Durham today. And they say this: the adulterers, the adulterers were both in town in Durham and nobody cared. The crown is dying little by little. Buses were empty and I'm here for it. Prince Philip said Charles would kill the monarchy. Now look, they thought by not protecting Harry and Meghan, instead feeding them to the wolves was a good move. Where is the lie? And as you can see, The barrier pole never misses. Yes, the barrier pole says they're not popular. The barrier pole says that nobody wants to come out and stand behind them and wave flags anymore. Yes, that's what the barrier poles are saying. And the barrier poles are absolutely brutal on this day that the two adulterers showed up in Durham. And I love this for Charles and his horse. I do. And also, what this squatty was talking about in this post when she said the buses were empty. Well, let me show you this post and explain to you exactly what this particular squatty is talking about. And this is what she is talking about. As you can see, this article, it says Durham buses for King's visit leaves with just one person. It says empty. First shuttle bus heading to Durham for the visit of King Charles III left with just one passenger as well as our reporters on board. Yes, they had buses in order to bring people so they can stand behind the barriers. Yes, they're trying to rig the barrier pole, and they can't even do that successfully because people don't even want to get on the bus in order to go to stand behind the barriers. And this particular squatty posted about it and said, oh my God, they shuttle people in for the barriers for Charles and Camilla's visit. This is absolutely pathetic. There is no organic love. Everything is performative and staged. They wanted to engineer the support amidst the JE struggles. They didn't know the hecklers had walked to the vineyard. Yes, they wanted to bring in people who were fully on the side of the crown. And it turns out it was only one person. And the ones that were there walked because they walked there to heckle them. Y'all, I cannot. This is just too delicious. It is. I promise you, if they presented this whole story as a screenplay to Hollywood, Hollywood would not even buy it because they would say it was just too fanciful to be for real. These people have done everything. Charles and his horse, they schemed, they connived, and I really believe that they killed Diana, my belief, in order to have this very moment that they would sit at the tippy top as king and queen. And and even after they have done all of their treachery, all of their snaking, they cannot manage to have the love of the people. I mean, they are going to have one of the most unsuccessful reigns that any king and queen has ever had in the history of that monarchy. And all I can say is two people could not deserve it more. I love it. I love it, y'all. And this squatty posted that same article about the buses having one person and said, so this visit reported on TV said hundreds lined the streets when you could see that there was hardly anybody there. The people that were there was actually bussed in to prop up the royals. This is why they're beyond pathetic. We all know that the ones who were there to heckle him. Let me tell you, they heckled him relentlessly. They did. I mean, I could feel a little sympathy bubbling up in me because they were going straight for his neck. I'm telling you, they was not letting up, asking about J.E. and Prince Andrew. I'm telling you, I was looking for some tomatoes to fly at this point. Yes, I would not have been surprised if some tomatoes had been thrown at Charles. It was just that brutal. And this is what he said, ha ha ha, the irony. When you know they wanted Prince Harry and Meghan to be shunned. Exactly. How many times have we heard if Harry and Meghan show up, they gonna get booed. They're scared to get booed. Well, Charles and his horse are scared that someone is gonna throw some tomatoes because they're trying to bust in friendly people. Yes, they're trying to absolutely set a stage. It is going to get to the point where when they do an engagement, it is going to be like a movie set. Everybody is going to be paid actors because that's the next step. Yes, pay people to stand behind the barriers. And if you think that they won't do that, I have a bridge to sell you in San Francisco. Yes, it's made of gold and it's called the Golden Gate Bridge. I promise you. And I will absolutely sell it to you cheap. I'm just saying. And it goes on and says they are hanging on a thread. They bought buses to bring folks to forge a crowd, but the buses left empty. They said hundreds lined up when it wasn't a dozen. Poor crowdless monarchy. Yes, yes, yes. Like I said, the next step is paying people to stand at the barriers. And like I said, don't get it twisted. They are not above it. And this what he said, they wanted Prince Harry and Meghan to sacrifice it all for the monarchy. When Queen Elizabeth protected Prince Andrew at the monarchy's expense, she did nothing to help Prince Harry and Meghan, and she left Charles with a candle burning at both ends. I mean, at both sides. At both sides. Queen Elizabeth II wasn't so dutiful after all. Exactly. And it came out today that she knew all the time. But squatties, we knew that she knew all the time. We said it from the beginning that she knew all the time. It was no way she could not have known. And just look back at the Queen's behavior, knowing that her son had hurt these young girls. I mean, look at her behavior. She did everything she could to protect him and resurrect his reputation. And so did Charles. And now neither one of them have been able to achieve that. They both failed. And it looks like because of that, the monarchy is going to fail. And I love it. I love it. I do. And I'm going to put this up. This is a post from Chris Ship, and he is posting about how the Queen knew the whole time. Yeah, she knew the whole time. This is what his post says. It says, breaking. Now Queen Elizabeth II, mentioned in the JE files at ITV News, finds documents showing late Queen gave her son Andrew full support even after JE photo emerged. But she did think his associations with a pedo was unwise. Well, you think so, Lizzie? You think maybe that wasn't a good idea? Is that how far she went? I mean, she did so little, if that's all she did, to tell him it was unwise. And all I can say is this, what people don't seem to understand, that this is a major, major blow to Queen Elizabeth's legacy. Yes, it is. And it's because the monarch has a lot of power over their family. And Lizzie did not exercise that power over Andrew. And that power is finances. She could have brought him to heel if she wanted to. because she had control of the purse strings. She did. So she could have made him come to heel and made him act in a better, acceptable manner. But she did not. She just told him it was unwise. Can you believe that? But like I said, it is a mindset, it is a mentality of these people who are at the tippy top of society because they don't believe that the rules apply to them. They really think they can do whatever. And it's their children that matter, not other people's children. They can use them in any manner they choose to and not feel guilty about it because they don't think that they matter. Let's not forget, these people really think that they're ordained by God. So why wouldn't they believe they could get away with whatever they wanted to get away with, and that your children is unimportant while their children are sacred? Yes, this is what was going on here. And if you think Lizzie didn't think that way, I don't know what to say because we all know she did. They painted her as this just mild mannered grandmother, but in reality, she was a ruthless bitch who didn't care about anybody except the crown. And so, yeah, she could have done more, but she chose not to. And this squatty posted a picture of Lizzie and a younger Ghislaine M and said this, but, can we stop making excuses for the fish that was rotting from the head? Or let's not mention the Canadian First Nation children who vanished under her custody. Yeah, it's a lot of evil that went on in that monarchy when Lizzie was sitting at the tippy top. She is not any mild mannered grandmother. No, she's not. Like I said, she's a ruthless bitch. And people are starting to see it. Yes, that monarchy is being exposed. Even the ones that have gone on to glory. Yes, they digging them up. I'm just saying. And this squatty reposted Chris Ship's post and said this: Queen Elizabeth knew about Prince Andrew's involvement with J.E. A mother finds out that her son is involved with a pedo, and all she could say was that it was unwise while giving him full support, went on to pay off the victim for silence. These people are rotten to the core. Where is the lie? Where is it? And this is what she did. This is not something people are making up to try to make her look bad. No, these are things that she did. I'm just saying. And I'm going to put this up. This is a cartoon that one squatter put up. And as you can see, one of the corgis is looking back because Queen Elizabeth II has fell straight into hell. The hellfires. Yes, she has fallen there. And this squatty says she has way more than 12 million pounds to answer for. Where is the lie? And put Queen Elizabeth II and her birthday and her death day. Yes, saying that Queen Elizabeth is straight down into Hades. Yes, she's in Hades. And I want to put this up because this is something we learned in my last podcast, that Edward was in the JE files, and he was name checked by a 13-year-old child that was there on the island saying that he was there. This person said, according to newly released files on JE, Prince Edward visited J.E.'s island while a 13-year-old girl was there to be abused by politicians and prominent men. Yes, but they haven't breathed a thing about it. That is the reason why we have to keep talking about it. That is the reason why I put it in this podcast. We need to keep ringing that bell because they don't want that domino to fall. But you know what? I do. I really do. Because every time I think about Sophie standing up there giving Megan the side eye, oh, baby, yes, we need that domino to fall. So let's absolutely post about it and let's talk about it. That's what I'm saying. And this particular squatty that posted it said, just yuck. These people are trash. Good job, Megan, getting away from these evil vultures. Where is the lie? All right, y'all, I'm going to put this up because the Flying Monkeys and I think Buckingham Palace is starting a new narrative. Yes, they are running it by everybody to see exactly how it will be received. So the new narrative showed up in the Telegraph. And I find that very interesting because we know the editor in chief of the Telegraph is buddy and best friends with the horse. And this showed up. And like I said, the name of the article is Beware the Excessive Hounding of Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. We expect much better of the working royals, but we must not confuse seediness with criminality. Yes, they're trying to pretend like what he did was not a crime. It was just him being seedy. Yes, y'all know when they knew he was a pedo, they called him Randy. Yes, Randy Andy. When they were calling him that, they knew exactly what he was doing. They knew what kind of person he was. And they called it Randy instead of something that's deeply sick. And now they're starting to peddle the narrative that we should feel sorry for him. And I say, why? Why should we feel sorry for him? He never felt sorry for anybody else. All those young girls, he never felt sorry for them. He absolutely, in email after email after email, was telling J.E. to bring them on. Yes, more, please. That's what he was saying. And we're supposed to swallow the narrative that he absolutely should be given a break because he's a non-royal. I mean, he's not a working royal. Really? Really? After you treat Harry and Meghan the way you do? I mean, stop it. It's ridiculous. This will never, ever fly. And this right here is one of the reasons why it would never fly. Look at the two houses he is going to be living in. First is Wood Farms, which is the first one. That's where he is now because he's waiting for the other one, which is Marsh Farm, to be ready for him. Yes, and that is that one right there. Boy, I'm telling you, he's going to be doing some hard time, isn't he? It says, this is Graham Smith, who is anti-royalist. He posted this and said, such hardship, Wood Farm provided for him by his brother and considered modest by royals. And then on the Marsh Farm, another modest property owned by Charles. Yes, these are the places he's going to be. This is supposedly modest. This is supposedly a punishment. And this is one of the reasons we're supposed to feel sorry for him. Stop it. All right, y'all, we're going to switch gears and we're going to talk about the Norwegian royals. Like I said, that was never on my bingo card. It was not. But boy, is it interesting. So the crown princess decided to say something. Now she has been mute as if she was in the Little Mermaid and the wicked Ursula had stole her voice. She absolutely could not or would not say a word. Well, all of a sudden today she came out with a statement, and this is what the statement said. We understand the strong reaction people have had to what has emerged in recent days. The Crown Princess strongly distanced herself from J.E.'s abuse and criminal actions. She deeply regrets not having understood earlier what kind of person he was. The Crown Princess wishes to talk about what happened and to explain herself more fully. She is not able to do so at this time. The Crown Princess is in a very demanding situation. She hopes for understanding and she needs time to gather herself. Now, I find this statement liking, and it likes any kind of empathy for anybody except herself. What about the victims who really had to suffer? And what about your behavior when you continue to be his friend and have a relationship with him even after his conviction? So that part right there kind of sticks with me because here she is acting as if she's the victim. I mean, it just doesn't go down easy. The squatty that posted this said, "Oh, this is bad. Like literally terrible. Yeah, it is in more than one way. Yes, it's bad because she is pretty much crashing and burning, and nobody is interested in putting the fire out. And two, it's terrible because she did not mention the victims. She did not say she was sorry. She did not acknowledge them in any way. So, yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible, and it's only going to get worse for her. My prediction. And this person commented on the Crown Princess statement and said this statement is way too little, way too late. Meeting after meeting, arrangements with JE, even looping in your own stepson, and now it's just I didn't know who he really was. Come on. The damage control reads like it was written by lawyers, not by someone genuinely horrified. People aren't buying it. No, they're not, because they're not even mentioning the victims. And this person commenting on her statement said this: the Crown Princess's statement completely ignores the victims and offers no apology. She might regret being exposed, but her remorse doesn't seem to reach the victims at all. What a terrible person. Exactly. She is regretting being exposed. That is the same as the British royal family. It's not about what they did, it's about being exposed for what they did. That is the rub for them because they're not sorry about what they did. They just didn't want people to know. I'm just saying. And this particular squatty said that Crown Prince Halcom did not do himself any favors either. He got in front of the cameras, and this squatty said the Crown Prince Halcom said, "Hold my beer," because he did even worse than the Crown Princess. And this is what he said. It says, Prince Halcom stands firm before the media. We support Marcus, that's his stepson, who is on trial right now for RAPE. And he says, we stand firm with Marcus in his situation, calling it a situation he is in. And I also support the Crown Princess, Marique. Yes, we hope for understanding. Yeah, I'm sure you do, but it just ain't much out there for you. I'm just saying. And this squatty said Prince Halcom absolutely delusional and out of touch, saying he fully support his stepson Marcus, the one who beat up and abused women, and his wife, who was sucking up and flirting with JE. No words of support for victims in either occasion. Absolutely out of touch. Yeah, they all are. They don't get it. Like I said, they only think their children matter, not the peons' children. No, the ones they consider peons, they don't consider valuable. And this right here is a reason why he did not need to be out there talking, because it's more and more evidence coming out about his wife. Look at this. It says Marcus as a 14-year-old blonde boy at a party with Maxwell and J.E. and his mother photoed. You see, she's in the photo too. She brought her 14-year-old son to a party with JE. And it says, and with older adults, evidence that he was at least there and among them. Exactly. Look at this. There he is. It says a 2012 photo of Marcus Borg and Matite Marique and GM was resurfaced as the scandal continues to unfold. Yeah, she had her young son there. This woman has no moral core whatsoever. And because of that, her son has to suffer because he doesn't know any better. He was raised up in that nonsense. And now nonsense is normal to him. He thinks it's fine to ape a woman because that's the environment that he comes from. And this particular squatty posted this and said the crown princess was arranging for J.E.'s friends to meet Andrew and Beatrice. Drop her an email. The FBI forgot to redact it. Yes, there it is. There it is. Mm, 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 mm. And this woman wants to be the queen of Norway. I wonder how that's going to work out for her. I'm just saying. And this squatty posted about Beatrice and Eugenie and said this. Princess Beatrice and Eugenie were both 19 and 18 when they went to visit J.E. with their mother after he was released from jail, having been convicted of a sexual, and kid, all these years they have been supporting their parents fully, knowing how close they were to J.E. and of course about J.E.'s crimes. They wasn't 19 forever. They've never held their parents accountable. They gained from the J.E. Association too, money and access. They remain silent, supporting their disgusting parents. Not one word about the victims. Nothing. So yeah, go cry for them elsewhere, Argentina. this, this squatty is a mess. Not in my timeline. These disgusting people were sucking up to someone who abused children. KILLED children. Seriously, many girls committed unaliving. All I can say is, where is the lie? Where is it? Have y'all thought about it this way? Yeah, they were young when Sarah took them to see JE, but they are full adults, well into their 30s, and they were still cloaking for their parents, not calling them out, not one time. And they knew exactly what the association with JE was because they were there. So yeah, this is a very thought-provoking post. Y'all tell me what y'all think. And I'm going to put this up. Y'all remember this and how squatties called this out when they were going to look at the flowers during the time that the queen had passed away? And Andrew was there and Beatrice was not, no, it was Eugenie. Eugenie was standing there and he ran his hand all the way down her body. And Squatties was saying, that is not the way a father would, behave when it came to his daughter. Very odd behavior. But now, since all of this has come out, I would not be surprised if it was some incest up in the York household. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Because it was strange. And the Squatties absolutely called it out right away. And this squatty said this. because they blacked that whole video out. They say you can't find it. I hadn't tried to find it. If y'all can find it, let me know. But it says, remember the news blackout on this video of Prince Andrew caught on video here in an unusual act while supposedly consoling his daughter, Princess Eugenie, at Balmoral after the Queen's death. Yes, that was very strange. And Squatties clocked it right away, but they wanted to try to play it off and then blacked it out. Yes, it might go even deeper than we think here. I'm just saying, y'all tell me what y'all think. I'm gonna put this up. And Sky News Australia is reporting that Sarah Ferguson has left the building. Yeah, she is like Elvis. She is out of here. She is. She has left the building. It says Sarah Ferguson has reportedly fled the UK after the latest drop of the JE files shed new light on the extent of her dealings with the disgraced financier years after his conviction of child sex offenses. And the squatty that posted this said she closed her charity and fled the UK. She's probably taken what was left of the charity money with her. They have no faith in Sarah whatsoever. And all I can say is she has earned that distrust, hasn't she? It says there is no way in HE double hockey sticks that the British royal family will support her. She doesn't even have the late Queen's dogs as hostages. Mm. They took the dogs away from her too. Yeah, she had to absolutely get out of the country like a thief in the night. And that's exactly what she did. And I must say, I feel no pity for her whatsoever. And I'm going to end with this. This just gives my heart such happiness because everywhere Harry and Meghan went, the elders prayed over them. They did. And I'm telling you, it worked. Yes, it did. Because Harry and Meghan are the only one that came out of this fire unsullied. And this particular squatty posted this and said, for years, the evil British media spread lies on Harry and Meghan, but the ancestors are using the truth to humiliate their royal family. Where is the lie? Where is it? Yes, and one more, and it's this beautiful picture of Meghan. Meghan is happy, she is free, and her pockets are fat. Yes, I love it. And she has a handsome prince and two beautiful children. And let's not forget that mansion. Yes, our girl is doing well, and I am happy for her. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all a little later. I know I kind of kept y'all a little long. So sorry about that. But listen, it was a lot I had to share. All right, y'all. Bye.